Nobody indeed. What is good? Welcome into Driving the Line. My name is Alan Bell, and we're dealing with the elements today. Look, I can barely get Google to load slides, much less my camera. So yeah, we're stuck here in 1K or 0K, whatever the hell it is. Brad, Greg, how we doing, man? Brad, what's up?
What's up, baby? Doing great, man. Good to see you, Greg. Happy to be here today to talk international footy and more. Ready to get into it.
Yeah, man. Greg, what's up, man? What did you think about the regionals that we had?
It was great. It wasn't easy. Play of the year came through with Oregon State to win the regional, so it was not easy, but it was a real profitable weekend and shocking to say the least if you're an SEC fan. So Super Regionals should be another really fun weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. Absolutely. All right, before we look forward, we have to look back, and let's see how we did yesterday. All right, come on, Big Jack. He had a tough day last night. Had a tough one. Diamondbacks and Braves did not crush on that one. And then Big Cheesy was correct. Having anything to do with the Padres or the Giants scoring runs is not a smart play. These teams are terrible. They refuse to hit. I have no idea why. They have hitters everywhere. They absolutely refuse to hit. Greg, what the hell is the problem over there with the Padres and the Giants?
We're back to torture baseball again, which when we had a great pitching staff consistently, it was working. But, struggles. I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, you look at this Giants offense top to bottom, there's not a ton of names that you're expecting big things from. So add the elements to it when you're playing in San Francisco. Last night doesn't really count, but it's been a struggle. I mean, it's a pretty long streak. They've got a 3 runs or less going right now, and it's tough to win when you can't score runs.
I mean, it's impossible to win. I just don't understand it. Like, you look at both of these lineups, and they have dudes on both sides. It's not that hard. I mean, every other team in Major League Baseball can figure it out. I don't know. It's just, I try to give a shot, but for the love of Christ, I mean, they won't hit. They just will not hit. And I mean, you've got Tatis, Machado. I mean, just keep going down. Anyways, I'll get off of that. But it's frustrating to watch because you look at it and you're like, I don't know what else you need. Like, every dude is protected. Just hit. Can't do it. Absolutely can't do it. All right, let's get into our plays for today. Greg, start us off, man. What you got?
Yeah, we're jumping straight into the weekend. We've laid low with baseball besides college for the last couple of weeks, and it's been a good move. We're taking 2 super regional plays. We may add some more as we get there, and of course, we'll have game plays through the weekend individually. But we are taking Auburn to win the super regional. We're going up on them over Coastal Carolina. Chanticleers have struggled in the more top-tier games this year. And you know what? A great regional by them, a big victory, and, fabulous for the Chanticleers. But I think Auburn's on a mission. I like what they've seen. I like them at home, so we will be on the Tigers. And in our SEC matchup, sorry to say it for you, we will be going with the Razorbacks. I think playing at home is a huge difference right now. Tennessee as well has had their ups and downs this year. Big win, big finish for them in the regional. We're not in Knoxville anymore, and things are going to be a little different playing in Fayetteville. And boy, oh boy, can Arkansas hit. Boy, oh boy, can Arkansas pitch. And I think above all else, love what the Razorbacks have done. Dominated. You forgot they were even in the regionals, how quickly they dominated through that one. And I think that we will have another terrific series. I mean, it could be a World Series Finals matchup right here, and instead we're getting into the Super Regionals. So we'll take Arkansas with the value at minus 125.
Yeah, well, yeah, I feel you on that. And I'll say yesterday we bet Arkansas to win the Super Regional. So, yeah. Totally all over that one for sure. And if you're a Vols fan, hey, you can win either way. Win either way. Keep it positive. All right, Bradley. Now, speaking of the Vols, I think you've got – I don't even know where these folks are from. We'll go ahead and break it down. What do you got?
Yeah, we're headed to the 2nd division of Icelandic football. And before we can really get into this pick, we need to let you know that this Valsanger team at home is taking on Thor Akureyri here in this second division of Iceland. We're looking for the over 3.5 goals. But Valsanger, yes, they are the home team, but they are actually playing away at Thor. For some reason, I guess it has to do with some type of logistics in fan transportation getting to and from the game. This match is actually going to be played at Thor's home ground. So you're going to see it listed like this in the books, but it's really going to be Thor, the dominant team, the favorite at home. Now, so that's why I need to let you know, because these stats are actually going to be for the opposite way. It's going to be read differently with the home team listed at home getting away stats. But Valsanger has now hit both teams to score in 4 of their 5 this season. They've come up from the bottom tier. They're hitting the over totals 4 of 5 as well, but they also trend that over 3.5 when they hit the overs. 3.5 hits in 9 of 11, which is really important. Taking on this top side Thor Akureyri at home, they have now scored in 11 straight at home, including 11 straight overall, and 23 of the last 27, which is 85%. They trend the goal totals, but they trend multiple. 2+ in 6 of 8, 3+ in 5 of 7, 4+ in 4 of their last 5 matches, which is crazy. They are pounding goals in. They play very open football. I've caught a couple streams of these guys late, but they love to push it. And the biggest thing about this match is because it goes from Valsanger to Thor Akureyri, that takes this match from an outdoor weather impacted pitch match to an indoor artificial turf unaffected match. And that's very important if you're looking to get some type of congruency within your picks in some crazy place across the world that us Americans might not be as familiar with. And then you look at Thor. They've hit over 2.5 in 17 of their last 21 when they've hit both teams to score. So it looks like that's going to happen. But over 2.5 is coming in regularly, 7 of 8. Over 3.5 and 7 of 8. And over 3.5, 9 of 9 that hit over 2.5. So if we get there, we're looking for the 3.5. A lot of information today, but you need to know it because it's going to affect your money and your bet today in Icelandic football, second division between Valsanger and Thor Akureyri. Going for that over 3.5 at -115.
Nice. Beautiful work, man. All right. I'm going with the Cubs and the Nationals over 8.5 at -115. I'm also going with the Royals and the Cardinals over 8 at -115 as well. Okay. So look, we're going to try our best. I'm telling you, between Google and YouTube, I can barely get anything loaded today. Anything. So I've got home runs. I'm going to try to get weather. I'm going to try to get the rest of Major League Baseball. I can't do it. All right. I don't know what in the hell has happened over at Google, but I'm going to work with everything that we freaking have, man. So, all right. Here's the Super Regionals. We talked about that yesterday. All right. Let's get right into home runs here. Again, apologies, but I'm just working with what I have here. All right. Aaron Judge +185. Cal Raleigh +235. Gunnar Henderson +350. Saya Suzuki +400. Kyle Schwarber +400. Greg, I thought of you first, man. Who are you going with home run today? I think you're on mute.
Give me some Kyle Schwarber action today. I love the 4-1, and we'll jump on the Phillies, man, here today. Give me some Schwarber.
Schwarbs. All right, Big Brad, where are you going, bub?
Well, as an Arsenal fan, I am a Gunner. Give me Gunnar Henderson +350.
Going Gunner. All right. All right, we got Schwarbs and we got Gunner. I'm going Saya Suzuki. Give me the Cubs studs. So I'm going Saya Suzuki +400. That's where we're going today. All right. I'm going to try to load this up. Brad, talk to us about some soccer. All right. I'm going to try to work on this. What are you looking at, Bubba? What we got going on today?
Well, there's a lot. So before we really get into anything, we have to understand what we're looking at. What are we betting on? What's happening in the world of football? Well, as I've mentioned, we're going through that transition into international football, and that transition begins today with international football match this afternoon, Nations League semifinal, and it's a one-leg tie. That's very, very important as we've discussed with 1 and 2 legs and how they approach them. So one leg, everything must be decided today. Today's match in the semifinal is Germany at home taking on Portugal. And these figures are, they're trending and they're okay, but when you really look at it, Germany is the better team through and through. Right now, they have more congruency within the squad. Now, that's all dependent on Portugal. What type of side that they put out? Cristiano Ronaldo, is he going to play? Well, last match, he missed a big-time penalty, and it really hurt them at the beginning. They limped into overtime against Denmark at home in order to get here. So, we need to be a little cautious with Portugal right now. And then also Germany. These two teams are really trending in different really areas. Germany, they score 18 straight competitive matches in 21 of the last 23. So you're regularly seeing Germany score. They should score today against Portugal. They have actually beat Portugal in all 4 prior matchups that they've taken on Portugal. But those are various times throughout the last, 10 plus years. So we can't really take those matchups as fact. But right now, Germany is still trending in the better market. But Germany, though, they've conceded in 20 of their last 27 matches. That is above 75%, which is kind of surprising of a German squad. However, they've only conceded 2+ in 3 of their last 17. That matters because this match is both teams to score around -180 and a over 2.5 around -150 or higher. So you're going to actually have to be looking at both teams to score over 2.5 goal parlay or an over 3 Asian total. So how often are we hitting those totals? Well, with Germany, they're only trending conceding 2+ in 3 of 17. Portugal, while they have conceded in 13 of 18, both teams look like they can concede 1. Well, they've only conceded 2+ in 7 of their last 30. So both of these teams don't really concede 2+ goals very often. And with this match being so competitive and such an important one-leg match, could we get a 1-1 tie? Will they push that over 2.5? Well, right now you're really flirting with some ugly, ugly lines, trying to find any value in this match. So what I would recommend is to maybe look live. If you can get something live, I don't love both teams to score because I don't love how Portugal's playing. But if they do throw all their guys and they are looking like they can play hard against Germany and Germany gets up, Germany should sit in a little deeper. We don't really know what to expect, right? I wrote it here on the board, lineups. Who's going to be playing? Not really sure who they're going to be putting in. Yes, the Nations League matters, but really only for prize money. And it's listed here. Each team will make on around 11 million euro up to 12 USD with the conversion rate. But yeah, that's important. And it will be distributed to the players through their collective bargaining agreement. But these are high paid players. And so it's not really necessarily going to affect them as it would these World Cup qualifying matches, which are upcoming. As I've notated here on the board, you have CONMEBOL, which is starting Friday. But before that, we have CONCACAF, which is all these small countries, Bermuda, Virgin Islands. And then we have the South American countries, Brazil and Argentina coming up here on Friday. And we also have the Asian countries starting on Friday as well. High profile matches, AB, I know you'll be watching. That's Iran taking on North Korea or Kuwait taking on Palestine. These really crazy matches. Do you really think of mentally and conceivably like, holy crap, these countries are playing one another in a sport and it matters? Wow. So those are things you want to pay attention to, these really interesting matches. But then Monday is when all the European squads return and you're going to get these top matches between all the top countries really around the world. And so those are going to be more bettable games in my opinion. And lineups. Who knows who's going to be playing at any individual time? And as these players get back with their match or their teams, there could be a 1-match, 2-match type of complacency as each team is starting to get to know the players again and systems. So be careful with all this upcoming. Wait for those lineups. And what I want to make very certain is for these small countries, these are massive. On average, or not on average, but when they get to the World Cup, and why this is so important to some of these small countries, each player gets paid $2,800 per day. And that is allocated throughout all the players throughout the World Cup per day that they are at the event. And they can be at the event up to 18 days, even if they don't qualify past the knockout rounds. So that's an extra $50,000 for some of these lower players from all these smaller countries. That is absolutely crucial. So getting to this World Cup, yes, Is it for bragging rights and to love of the country? Absolutely. But also for some of these small countries, it's about earning that money. So you might see a different play style, a bunker in type of play style if they get into any type of stage. So just be careful with your bets. Make sure everybody's in your lineup and look to attack certain stuff live when things get a little bit, I guess, get a little bit more congruency. And so that's what's going on in the world of football.
Nice job, man. Look, I'll tell you what, I got my eye. You already know it. I've got my eye on Iran, North Korea. I can't wait for that one. $2,800 a day. Dude, I love it. And eat that, Google. All right? Who the hell do you employ over there? How are we outsmarting you? All right, let's get into weather. I'm going to do it the best that I can, man. Rockies and the Marlins. Look, you got rain there. Be careful. Just be careful with that game. Brewers and the Reds. Solid 85 degrees. A lot of humidity. Wind blowing right to left. You've got decent chances there. Angels at the Red Sox. All right. Great hitting day in Boston. All right. Mid-80s. Temperature feels like low 80s. Lots of humidity, especially for the New England area. 8 miles an hour blowing out. Astros and the Pirates. Doesn't matter. None of these teams are going to hit. But you've got unbelievable hitting weather there. But we'll see what they do. Cubs and the Nationals. Great hitting weather. Mid-80s. Feels like mid-80s. Humidity all over the board. 9 miles an hour blowing out to left center. All right, Guardians and the Yankees, not bad. 80 degrees, feels like 77. Wind blowing right to left. Phillies and the Blue Jays, doesn't matter. They're inside of a dome. Diamondbacks and the Braves, not as good as it was yesterday. All right, you've got rain there, which is good for the humidity, but the wind is blowing heavily in. 10.5 miles an hour. Rangers and the Rays, solid here at George M. Steinbrenner Field. All right, you've got rain, but you have humidity out the wahoo here. If that rain holds, you could have bombs be hitting all day long. Tigers and the White Sox, yeah, nothing great here. Nothing great at all. Royals and the Cardinals, again, even more humidity, but you've got rain, big rain that could be coming. So pay attention there if you're betting that one. Orioles and the Mariners, doesn't really matter too terribly much. Padres and the Giants, you have the perfect hitting weather. They'll do nothing with it, but you've got perfect hitting weather. Twins and the A's, solid there. Mid-80s, feels like low 80s, exactly what you want. Mets and the Dodgers, can't complain again, man. 60 degrees, feels like 60 degrees. Wind blowing out to right center, 6.5 miles an hour. Okay, now, hitting versus pitcher historical. Sorry, I know that this screen isn't beautiful how it normally is, but I am doing all that I friggin' can. Okay, let's get in on this. Hopefully you can see. All right. Runs here, Nick Castellanos. Hold on. There we go. Jorge Soler against Lucas Giolito. Solid. Jonathan India. Against your boy Miles. Got 3 solid. Taylor Ward. 2 home runs, 3 hits, 12 at bats. All right. Kyle Manzardo, good play. Mickey Moniak, a good play. Ozzie Albies against Merrill Kelly. He's got 1. Manny Machado. He's got 1. Freddie Freeman. He's got 1. All right. Brendan Nimmo. He's got 1. Riley Green has 1. Logan O'Hoppe. Trent Grisham. Jaron Duran. Dansby Swanson looking good over there. Travis Deneau. All of them boys. Tommy Edman. They have 1. Let's invert it here. And again, I greatly apologize for it not looking as it normally does, but I'm doing all that I can here. Paul Goldschmidt here. 10 at bat, 7 hits, 2 walks. Not bad there. Juan Soto, 6 hits, 15 at bats. Stephen Kwan, 6 hits, 12 at bats. Ronald Acuna, 4 hits, 10 at bats. Sai Suzuki, you see him there, 3 hits off 7 at bats. Ellie De La Cruz, 2 hits, 6 at bats. Got Marte off Chris Sale, 2 hits only 2 hits off 15 at bats. Spencer Torkelson, 1 hit, 1 at bat. You can see it. Ben Rice, 1 hit off of 2 at bats. Again, I apologize. I'm doing everything that I can, man. I'm doing all that I can to get anything up here whatsoever. So, all right, there we go. All right, let's get our picks one more time, and we'll get out of here. We'll be live at 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll go long on that one. I apologize for this. tried everything that I can today, man. It just nothing works technology-wise. Greg, let your picks rip, man. What do you got?
Super regional action for this weekend coming up. Auburn, we are taking them over the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. And these are all to win the full super regional, not just individual games. So we're on Auburn at minus 140. And we are also, unfortunately, to most of the chat, we are on the Arkansas Razorbacks to win the series as well at 125.
There we go. Millsy said you're doing great. I appreciate it. Hey, thanks, man. Look, I'm doing all I can. Like, literally, all of this stuff is down. It's just a disaster. Brad, but what is not a disaster is Volzunger, Thor, Steve Aoki. All right, go ahead, let it rip. What do you got?
Going to the second division of Icelandic football in a match between Volzunger taking on Thor Akureyri. We're looking for 4 goals, over 3.5 at minus 115.
Beautiful. I'm on the Cubs of the Nationals over 8.5. Also on the Royals and the Cardinals over 8. Be careful with this game. Spell Dog, I saw you ask if you'd take over 8.5. Man, I mean, I would, but you could have storms and rain in this one, so just be careful there. I wouldn't go over 8.5. I would not do that, but we'll see. This game might not even finish, to be completely honest with you. Yeah. That's what we got. All right, boys. Great job. Like I said, we'll go long on the 3 p.m. Eastern show today. I apologize. Doing everything that we can. I mean, they can't even get the cameras attached on here, so it's a disaster. All right. Anyways, all right, everybody, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets. We'll have a much bigger, better show this afternoon, but let's have a good day. Regardless, all right, everybody, we'll see you this afternoon.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody.